Space Force will eventually put troops in orbit. So, I guess this is a statement that was made by Major General John E. Shaw, Space Operations Command, and part of U.S. Space Command leadership. This was a statement that he made during a video conference, AFWORK innovation. I don't know what that is, what their involvement is. Seems to be some type of like recruitment agency for the Air Force. This is posted on the 29th of September.
Military troops in the Space Force will someday deploy to orbit, one of the service's top operations officials said September 29. At some point, yes, we will be putting humans into space, Major General John E. Shaw, head of the Space Force's Space Operations Command and part of U.S. Space Command leadership, said during a conference organized by the AFWORKS Innovation Group. They may be operating command centers somewhere in the lunar environment or someplace else. Space Force officials, wary of being confused with NASA, usually shy away from questions about whether military personnel will go to the final frontier themselves. Experts have split on whether a Space Force astronaut corps is a good idea in the next couple of decades, if at all. For us, it remains focused on our commanders in the field. So that's why we've gone there, not because we're battling for control of the moon or Mars, but because we have to ensure space capabilities are there for the folks on the ground, Space Force Vice Commander Lieutenant General David D. Thompson said in February. That opportunity to be an astronaut inside the Space Force today is almost zero.
Yeah, so they don't have the infrastructure or allegedly the public need for personnel to be out there. That was General David Thompson.
Lieutenant General David D. Thompson is Vice Commander, Headquarters United States Space Force. He is responsible to the Chief of Space Operations for the U.S. Space Force in carrying out space missions and integrating space policy, guidance, coordination, and synchronization of space-related activities and issue resolution for the Department of the Air Force. U.S. Space Force organizes, trains, equips and maintains mission-ready space forces and provides missile warning, positioning, navigation and timing and communications for North American Aerospace Defense Command, U.S. Strategic Command, U.S. Space Command and the other functional and geographic competent commands.
He's the Vice Commander, and then
As Commander of the U.S. Space Force's Space Operations Command, Shaw provides space capabilities such as space domain awareness, space electronic warfare, satellite communications, missile warning, nuclear detonation detection, environmental monitoring, military intelligence surveillance and reconnaissance, navigation warfare, command and control, and positioning, navigation and timing, in support of U.S. Space Command and the other competent commands.
Yeah, so definitely a big job. I mean, I would imagine they are both individuals are probably equally important, but definitely some high up positions making some interesting public statements saying that they may be operating command center somewhere in a lunar environment or someplace else. They want to expand outward, not because they're battling for control or moon of Mars, not because of that. Definitely not that. So, but I'm sure that they do have an interest in getting some infrastructure built up, at least in the public domain.
The Space Force currently handles rocket launch ranges in Florida and California, watches for ballistic missile shots around the globe, and manages the Global Positioning System constellation and other daily satellite operations. It was created to focus on beating out China and Russia as the dominant space power and to deter aggression, not to fight aliens or build a Death Star. It is plausible that, in a future where NASA and commercial industry have set up shop on the moon, the Space Force could be nearby to protect people and hardware. Some see the Space Force becoming a sort of celestial coast guard for search and rescue missions.
Yep.
Others say the newest branch of the military doesn't need to put people in space for routine operations or to mount an effective offense or defense. While humans regularly head to and from the International Space Station, and multiple countries are planning to establish a lasting presence on the moon, space isn't all that habitable for humans, Shaw said. We've learned that since our early space days.
Yeah, well, I mean, definitely an obvious thing that space isn't really a nice place or an easy place to exist in. But I mean, it's really all about the infrastructure, and it's the fact that they just they bring up these topics that we're trying to beat China and Russia as a dominant space power and to deter aggression, not to fight aliens or build a Death Star. it's exactly what they're going to do for sure. You know, maybe in the works, but you know, they have plans for this. I mean, come on. It's just so obvious. So yeah, definitely interesting for sure. That they're saying things like this.
Military facilities in space may be partially autonomous, so humans wouldn't need to man them around the clock in person, he added. The Space Force wants its satellites to gradually be able to manage themselves, including automatic software upgrades or maneuvers if threatened.
Right.
The best robots that humans have ever created are probably satellites. They're incredible machines, and we're only getting better, Shaw said. With machine learning and artificial intelligence, we're going to have an awful lot of automated and autonomous systems operating on Earth and lunar orbit and solar orbit in the days and years to come, doing national security space activity. But don't expect Space Force personnel to leave Earth anytime soon. It will happen at some point, Shaw said, but when is anybody's guess?
Yeah. When is anyone's guess? Okay, well, you know, definitely making some big statements, but you know, nothing too crazy that would raise any international attention. So from the Air Force.